Knee arthritis affects almost 10% of adults in the US alone, but the top 3 treatments may not make your knees feel better. Hi, I'm Laurie Kurtz-Kelly, and I've helped thousands of active adults build stronger, healthier knees without knee surgery. And in this video, I'll share the top 3 treatments for knee arthritis and what I recommend instead. Roughly 1 in 4 people who are diagnosed with knee arthritis are given a steroid injection. Pain, stiffness, and swelling are all signs of inflammation in your knee. And a steroid injection is like an anti-inflammation bomb. It completely wipes out, at least temporarily, signs of inflammation, which can feel good in the moment, but it also comes with some serious adverse side effects. In a 2023 scientific study, researchers revealed that people that had a steroid injection had an increased likelihood of having a knee replacement within 5 years. And with each additional steroid injection, that risk or likelihood for the knee replacement increased by an additional 9.4%. Opioids are a type of drug that often very successfully controls severe pain, but they come with 2 very awful side effects. One is addiction and the other is death. The number of opioid-related deaths has increased substantially over the past 25 years. So opioids need to be avoided if at all possible. If they're needed, they should be used for a very short period of time and monitored closely by your doctor. Using a needle to inject hyaluronic acid into a knee with arthritis has been studied for over 30 years. It's not a new treatment. The purpose of the treatment is to thicken the fluid inside your knee. Thicker fluid, more viscous fluid, the substance like egg whites rather than like water. That thicker fluid has been shown to increase the shock absorption inside your knee, which oftentimes makes it feel better, and to increase the lubrication inside your knee, which allows you to move your knee more easily. Recent research has confirmed that hyaluronic acid injections, often known as gel injections for short, these injections have been shown to be safe with very minor side effects like some mild localized pain or swelling that lasts for a few days. And the results of the injections have been shown to provide some amount of pain relief and functional improvement for up to 6 months. If I had stiff, sore, achy, or painful knees, if I was diagnosed with knee arthritis, I would avoid steroid injections and opioids if at all possible. Instead, I would do these 3 things to decrease knee pain and inflammation. Number 1 has to do with food. I would eat as many anti-inflammatory foods as possible. This includes things with a high healthy fat content, fish like salmon, nuts and seeds, things cooked or dressed with olive oil, fruits like berries, and vegetables including broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and dark leafy greens. I would also, in the category of food, I would also avoid foods that are known to cause inflammation. Foods that are very highly processed, that have added sugar, or drinks with alcohol. Another way to decrease knee pain and inflammation is by performing very gentle movement for your knees, very gentle motion for your knees for a few minutes at a time, several times throughout the day. This can happen very easily if you're sitting in a rocking chair. You can place your feet on the floor and rock in the rocking chair, and it'll provide movement for your knees. If you're sitting in a standard chair like this one, you can use a furniture mover and place your foot on top of the furniture mover and then easily slide your foot in and out in a comfortable range of motion. The third thing I would recommend to decrease knee pain and inflammation is limit activities and positions that cause knee pain, that cause knee discomfort, either during those activities and positions or hours later or even the next day. So for example, if you notice on days when you sit for a long period of time, whether it's for travel or whether it's at your desk and your knees are in the same position, maybe in the same bent position for a long period of time, you notice that even later that day, they start to get achy or more sore or uncomfortable, that's an activity, rather, that's a position to interrupt more frequently or avoid when you can. So you might stand up and walk around every 30 minutes for 30 seconds, for example. Now, let's say you notice that on the day after you take the stairs. You're in a building and maybe there's an elevator, but it's just easier, more convenient to take the stairs. You take the stairs multiple times up and down. You can tell that the next day you notice that you've got a little bit more knee pain. That would be an activity to temporarily avoid while you improve your knees, to limit the amount of inflammation that's being caused. If I had stiff, sore, achy knees, maybe I have a diagnosis of knee arthritis, before I consider hyaluronic acid injections, gel injections, and I do think that they're a viable option, but before I consider those type of injections, I would focus on performing a particular exercise that I'm going to tell you about. So, known as the quad sets, I would first tighten my core and then squeeze my glutes together. And with my core tight and my glutes engaged, then I would engage or tighten the muscles on the front of my thighs. Not enough that I feel like I'm strengthening my thigh muscles, because most people won't strengthen their thigh muscles with a quad set, but by turning on the muscle, pushing down into the towel roll with the back of my knees, not causing any discomfort in my knees, and then holding these contractions, everything together, holding the contraction for 5 seconds. After the 5 seconds, then I completely relax. These isometric or tightening muscle contractions, particularly with the thigh, but the core and the hip support the thigh, they have been shown to thicken the fluid inside the knee, which is also the purpose of the gel injections. Thicker fluid, more shock absorption, less pain, and better lubrication or ease of movement. So a win-win if the quad sets make you feel better. So what I would do is perform the quad sets 10 or 20 times in a row, whatever you have time for, and it still feels good for your knees, and repeat that 3 to 5 times a day. After 2 weeks, note whether you feel any better. If you do feel a decrease in your knee symptoms, but you're looking to support that even more, I think the gel injections are a good option to do that. If you don't get a decrease in your knee pain or discomfort, stiffness or swelling by doing the quad sets over a 2-week period of time, then I would still consider continuing them, given that they haven't made your knees worse, of course, but continue them in conjunction with the knee gel injections. So I have a zero-cost guide to help you optimize, if you're considering gel injections, hyaluronic acid injections, to help you optimize those injections, to help you make the most of those injections. And I'll drop that in the description below this video. Now that you know the alternatives to the 3 most common treatments for knee arthritis, you're ready to watch my next video, Best Exercises to Relieve Knee Arthritis Pain.